My name is Kagiso Mahlangu, and I am the founder of Patch Up South Africa. I started Patch Up South Africa in 2017. I was in university. And when I was in university, I was just about to graduate, and then my professor asked me, Kagiso, what are you going to do after you graduate? And I said, you know what, I don't know what career I want to do, but I really love to help people. And he said, Mos, you can start right here on campus. There's no need for you to now wait until you graduate. So I started working with first year students. We had first year students who were coming from your KZN, your Eastern Cape, and all these places. And when we are living in res, you can see the distinction. There are children who with a fridge, a bed, they've got clothes to change every day, but then when you get into others, their rooms, there's just one pair of shoes, they've got just a loaf of bread, just enough to get by. So there was an issue of one student who would collapse every time we needed to study. And whenever I would work with them, I would just go a little deeper, only to find that these children, they don't eat enough. There was various feeding schemes on campus, but somehow there was politics involved, so they couldn't access the food. So I started a food security program at res, where we would give them food. But as I continued with this, my passion grew bigger and bigger, and it went out into the homeless population. Why? Because I would travel between Johannesburg CBD and Pretoria CBD. I experienced a lot of guys coming to me, yo, my sister, let me carry your bag. They would force to carry my bag, and some of them I'd have conversations with them only to find that they are homeless, they're sleeping in the streets. Others have master's degrees. I'd be very confused as to how are you homeless and with a master's degree and you're sleeping in the streets. So when I got a little bit deeper, then I think 6 months from there, I then registered Patch Up South Africa. The idea really was to provide food to homeless people and people without food. That's how it started for like 3 years. But this food giving thing, it didn't lead someone to getting out of this begging state. So then we developed other programs to support the food program. So from there, we realized that most of these people we are assisting, they actually have health issues. HIV was a prevalent one. Most of them are HIV positive. So hence why we went into healthcare. But then from there, we got social workers, because we found that it's not just hunger, but there's trauma. There's a lot of things they experienced in their past that they're still carrying today, and they try to move, but they can't. So then we started integrating psychosocial services, rehabilitation, but we refer for those services. So when they come back to rehab, then it's another challenge. Now they need employment. They are not favorable to anyone because they don't have matric. They don't know how to read, they don't know how to write, they're just lacking in the aspect of employability. So then we went into that space to say, how are we going to upskill these people? So hence why we have currently a lot of programs that are running, both accredited and non-accredited, to try to upskill them. But also one important one that we believe in is entrepreneurship, because most of them are very good at buying and selling, exchange. They are good at that. So we're really trying to develop an entrepreneurship program that can help them stand on their own 2 feet, and that's why I exist. Mine is to be in the streets. I trust the volunteers that are here to make all the operations and logistics happen. What I do is to find the opportunities outside and bring them into the community. I think what God has really blessed me with is my history. I come from university, I've got access to that space. I come from corporate, I've got access to that space, but that I've received there, I'm able to bring it back home. So really what I do is to get opportunities and bring them in. So the programs we run, there are 3. There's food security, there's healthcare, and there's what we call e-sustainability. The reason why we call it E is because it's got 3 parts: employment, entrepreneurship, and education. So all these E, they form part of our theory of change of sustainability. So in food security, the idea here is to provide daily nutrition to our beneficiaries, right? We've been doing this since 2017, but now recently, I think in 2023, we went into agriculture. We were doing small scale farming for about, I would say from 2023 to early this year. Early this year, we came up with a new strategy on how we're going to do agriculture, because we want to involve the vulnerable families to teach them how to plant for themselves. And ideally, if they can sell things like dried fruit or dried herbs, it would be very beneficial for them. So next year, what we're looking to do is to go into agriculture in that perspective. There is land that we have been blessed with, and what we want to do, we want to use that space to sort of create like an agriculture school or an agriculture academy, where we will gather these vulnerable families, put them together and brainstorm on how we can do income generating activities together. So this is the food security pillar. In the healthcare pillar, we also have 3 programs. We've got HIV, TB and STI. We've got social work services, and we've got what we call care closet. So in your HIV, TB and STI, we test and we screen and we counsel. In psychosocial support, also known as social work services, we are doing your rehabilitation referrals, family strengthening, where we do counseling. There's a lot of GBV cases we tend to get these days, a lot of child abuse cases we get. So our focus is homelessness and drug and substance abuse. Whatever case we get, like child neglect, we would refer to our partners. Our social workers are responsible for that. Care closet is where we gather your sanitary items, clothing, and then we redistribute these to the vulnerable families we work with. So I think this program has been going very well for the past 2 years, because now we're able to get phone calls from malls to say, hey Pachap, we've got excess clothes that we didn't sell, please come and take them. So we are able to take these clothes and redistribute them to the vulnerable families. And our e-sustainability pillar, I shouldn't have a favorite, but I do. This is my favorite pillar, where we are able to take someone from having nothing to standing on their own 2 feet, from begging to be an employer. So here is the entrepreneurship program. The entrepreneurship program is more like helping you with compliance, helping you with registering your business, helping you with access to markets. But this is specifically focused on the vulnerable families and the homeless beneficiaries we have and the substance beneficiaries we have. But funny enough, we have been seeing that most of them don't apply for these things. Either they are afraid. This is something we still need to decode as to why are they not coming into the space. They would rather sit at home or do criminal activities. We need to decode that part. So now what we are doing is really approaching the unemployed youth to participate in these programs, because it's our preventative strategy to say, how about you come and be occupied with this rather than falling into homelessness or substance abuse. And then we've got education. Education is the very in need, or I think they call them in-demand skills. Your IT skills. This is the one we're currently running in the center right now, where we are gathering young people and we are teaching them IT-related skills. This is centered around learnerships as well as short skills programs. And then employment, this is a pillar where we struggle a bit with. The idea here is we engage with corporate, or we engage with employers to employ the people we train in education. It makes no sense to train someone and then they sit with that skill. So we're really trying to break through to say, employers, what are you looking for? Is there something we're doing that you don't want? Perhaps we are misaligned. So we need to really engage with those employers so that our programs suit their needs. So these are the programs that we're currently doing. I would like to see a person who has been using substances, who has been rejected, who has had trauma, eventually stand on his own 2 feet, eventually achieve their goals. So we did a focus group with them one time. Most homeless people and substance users are men. So we did a survey to ask them, when you say you've made it in life and you're successful, what does that look like to you? Majority of them said, I want a wife, I want children, and I want to live with them in a house. So they're just looking for purpose and fulfillment and love and care. So we're trying to help them understand, taking care of a wife, taking care of children, you need so much more. We need to help you in these certain areas. So that journey, what I would like to see is a lot of our beneficiaries, because most of our beneficiaries are in Mamelodi, to see them growing out of this begging state, to see them growing out of this pain and addiction. Because if they are saying, I want family, you can imagine if all the families in Mamelodi are strong. Ideally, the community is going to be strong. So what I want to see is families being strong, really, in the township.